There we go.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to WrestleBuddy's AEW All Out 2022 prediction show. We are going to sit here. We are going to break down on what should be a reasonably exciting card. Some duffers we know, but can't have everything perfect. I'm joined today by my great friend Jimmy, the King. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Excited for this weekend, man. So excited for this weekend.
Yeah,
got so
it's going to be fun. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm joined by our new friend Tyler.
How's it going, gentlemen?
You,
I'm doing well. It's always a pleasure to join you guys, and can't wait to break down, much like Jimmy was saying, there's a ton of wrestling this weekend. Going to be crazy, gentlemen.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, Jimmy, I forgot to write the match card down.
So give me a second. I'll pull it up. Just chat amongst each other about what you're most excited for.
Fantastic. Yeah, speak of this weekend, Tyler. Obviously, for me,
yes.
I'm from the UK. 30 years since we've had a stadium show over here. I am so excited for Clash of the Castle. I'm also really excited for Worlds Collide on Sunday. I cannot wait for Tyler Bate versus Bron Breakker, even though I think it's going to have a predictable outcome, shall we say. But as far as All Out goes, Tyler, what are you excited for, match-wise? Is there anything that's jumping out off the page to you, or are you just a little bit, yeah, okay, we'll see how it goes?
I think I'm going to be with a lot of folks. It's going to be the Moxley CM Punk match for the championship. I think with the way they're building that story, I talked to you guys off air. Another match, I must say, would be the Pinnacle. Wardlow, FTR taking on the Motor City Machine Guns with Jay Lethal. I think the idea of having Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin facing Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler is going to be off the charts. I think their styles are going to actually give fans something they didn't expect, and to me, that's going to be very interesting. So that would be another match. There's really a lot of pretty good matchups, but that's two that stand out to me off the bat.
Well, when you're talking about the Machine Guns versus FTR, honestly, I just wish Wardlow and Jay Lethal weren't in the match. Because you've got two of the best tag teams of their generation in FTR and the Motor City Machine Guns. They don't need any other fluff. They will deliver on their own. I understand that Wardlow and Jay have to be in there for the story's sake, but for me, this team of Wardlow and FTR just kind of came out of nowhere.
It's did. I'm with you. I think it ought to just be the Motor City Machine Guns and FTR. I mean, that's a dream match everybody would want to see anyways. That two teams that pass have not crossed. That's what made the Briscoes and FTR so entertaining. That, of course, they wrestled a similar style, but they still were different. And that's what's great about the Motor City Machine Guns. I go back to the early TNA like you guys, following their career. That's my exposure to them when Jeff Jarrett opened that up. And I was blown away by those guys' talent, their innovation. This was before the Young Bucks and all that team. That's who I think probably influenced them as much as the Rock and Roll did. Were the Motor City Machine Guns. So I'm in agreement, gentlemen. I think it could be a tag team match, but Wardlow, I think he's there to probably just squash people. That's all he needs to be to get that hot tag. I mean, seriously. And then Jay Lethal can combat and still match with everybody. So I think it'll still work out.
Yeah, I do as well. Another one I'm actually surprisingly looking forward to, even though the women's division is booked horribly in AEW. I'm really hoping that Toni Storm gets the belt tonight. On Sunday night. Thoroughly looking forward to the match. I'm a huge Hikaru Shida fan. I think Britt Baker's great, and I think Jamie Hayter is a very underrated girl. I'm assuming, which we'll get into in a bit, that this is probably going to be the implosion of Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker's little stable.
You would think.
It will. It's a little overdue because Britt needs something to get her teeth into if she's not going to be world champion.
Oh, she does. And I think it's Hayter's time because we've seen them tease it like you're saying. I think Jamie Hayter can be that star. I mean, they're already trying to kind of show us what she's all about. And I think Toni Storm is deserving, but Sheeta's showing this aggressive side from Dynamite. I agree with JR. Americanized is not a knock. She is just getting over with the audience in the UK and America as compared to Japan. But I love her Japanese style. I think it's great. It meshes well. She's finally starting to understand, I think, the psychology over here better. And we're seeing it present itself on TV.
Question real quick. We're going to go over the pre-show, or are we just going to go ahead with the main card?
Pre-show's got 3 decent matches on it. We might as well go over.
Okay. I just want to make sure before I hook them up on the thing.
Yeah, it does have some pretty good matches. That's one good thing I'll say. Some pre-shows, you're kind of scratching your head, but they've actually got some decent ones on here.
Yeah. I mean, Ishii versus Eddie Kingston. If anybody saw their match from New Japan Strong a few months ago,
it was pretty good.
They've got good chemistry together, like really good chemistry together. It's that Kings Road versus Strong style.
Correct.
And I always love that mechanic. And Eddie Kingston is such a flipping fanboy of Masawa and the others that it's great to see him work a style of match that he really enjoys working.
What up, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Eddie Kingston is hard hitting. I mean, and so is Ishii. I think that's what's great, to your guys' point. It's going to bring out that physicality, and like old school fans will appreciate it, and new school, it gives you that balance. So I think it's going to be another good pre-show match that could steal the show as far as the pre-show, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Biscuits I sent you. I guess that's the JR comment or something.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the pre-show. We got 3 matches on the pre-show. I'll start with the first one, probably the least anticipated of the 3. It's going to be Hook taking on Angelo Parker for the FWW title, because Hook has been arguing or feuding with 2.0 rules for some reason. I'm okay with it, though, because anytime you get 2.0 rules on the television screen, I'm a happy man. So with that said, I don't think we're going to spend too much time on these. Just give me a quick outlook on this match that you might have, and who you think is walking out.
Well, I think it's obvious that Hook's walking out with the FTW title. I think he's going to do it in about 2 minutes flat, and I think Angelo Parker is going to make him look like absolute gold while he does it.
You're being very generous with 2 minutes.
Yeah, I am being generous with 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm with Nick. I think Hook's going to come out the FTW champion. I think this is the right move because he needs to have this push because he's over with the crowd. I don't think the Danhausen thing really helped him. I think that slowed him down, so I'm glad they're getting away from it. And that's not a knock against Danhausen. It's just you want to present him like similar to his dad. He's a guy that's good. He's a machine. Yeah, he's a machine. You want him to go in there and destroy people, and I'm with you. I think Parker will make him look like $1 million. So just real quickly, it'll be a good match.
I think the thing with Danhausen, I think the part that sucks about it is I think they gave up on it too soon, and they didn't really push it as much as they probably should have. Because at the end of the day, Danhausen is a very popular person. He's going to push merch, and he's going to get eyes on people when he's paired with them. I think it could have been good for Hook. But for whatever reason, as soon as Orange Cassidy came back and the best friends were a thing again, they just went and put Danhausen with them again, and it just didn't even address the whole Hook Danhausen thing, which kind of sucks. But I'm with you guys 100%. Hook walks out. I don't even think the match goes a minute. I think he just suplexes him 3 times, chokes him out. Angelo gives us some goofy faces. He's getting choked out, and that's the match. He'll put him over with his great selling because that's what 2.0 rules does better than a lot of people. And yeah, it's quick match. Very quick.
I think so.
Okay, so following that, that's the match I think will kick off the whole pre-show, and then I think the next matchup we'll get Eddie Kingston versus Ishii, and as Nick pointed out, we got it earlier this year at the New Japan show that took place in DC. I can't remember the name of it. I know we just said it, but it over my head. It was a nice match. I enjoyed it, and if I'm enjoying an Eddie Kingston match, that tells you a lot because I usually don't. But again, quick rundown of what you think about the match and who you think is walking out here.
Tyler?
I think you got to give it to Kingston. No offense to Ishii, but as he being one of your guys, and I think with all the drama, let Eddie get this win, man. He deserves it. He's working hard. He's honest, man. I think that's what people respect about him. He admitted he was wrong in the whole Guevara drama. So I just want to see Eddie really shine, and Ishii too, to respect the Japanese talent. But it really is not going to hurt Ishii if he loses, I don't think. I think it's going to help Eddie Kingston. So that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going with Mad King all the way.
Yeah, I can't really disagree much. I know for a fact Ishii won the last match, so Eddie's going to be wanting to get his win back. I love Kings Road versus Strong Style. It's always great fun to watch. It's such a methodical, hard-hitting pace. I think this match is going to be a bit of a sleeper on the show. I don't think a lot of people are going to be expecting a lot for it, and I think it's probably going to over-deliver. But yeah, Eddie's going to win all day.
Yeah, I'm picking Eddie just for the fact that he did lose the first one, and Tony Khan likes to make sure his guys go over in these situations. So he's going to get that one back. And again, for Eddie stepping up and accepting like the responsibility of the stuff that happened with Sammy Guevara, I think that was very cool of him. And I think you reward him in this situation, seeing how the match he was going to have with Sammy got scrapped, and now this is what we're getting instead. So yeah, you definitely want to give Kingston the win here and get him back on winning ways, because he doesn't win enough on TV. And if you want to keep pushing him as like a fan favorite and not have them kind of just sour on him, he has to win some of these matches.
I'd agree.
Ishii does not suffer. Yeah, not
in the
yeah, it's not going to hurt him.
Ishii could eat losses from now till Kingdom Come, and he'd be absolutely fine.
And then the final match on the pre-show, I'm a little bit ticked off is on the pre-show just because of how it's been treated up until this point. And I was like, oh, they're finally going to give it its moment on the show. And now I find out it's on the pre-show. Still be a great match. It's better than being on some YouTube show, I guess. Pre-show, is it on YouTube or is that like actual?
It's on YouTube, but it's also on Fight TV.
Okay, just making sure it's not just a YouTube show before I go any further. But yes, we're gonna get Pac taking on Kip Sabian for the Mid-Atlantic Championship. This is one of the matches that I think they've done a good job building. It wasn't a main focal point of the shows, which it doesn't need to be. They just did just enough to make you go, okay, I see where it's heading. I'm looking forward to the match. We all know what Pat can do. He's phenomenal. Kip Sabian, I think, here is going to show out a little bit. And for the people who haven't seen him in a minute, or they forgot, or maybe they just don't know, he's very good in the ring. He's very good in the ring, and I think this match is going to be fantastic. I would love to see Kip win this, just for the fact that you spend all this time like building him up with this overrated character thing you're doing, and then you have him come back and lose in his first match. That's a mistake, in my opinion. We shall see, though. Nick, take it away. What do you think about the match?
I'm really looking forward to this. I love Kip Sabian. I think he's a very underrated worker. He always has been. He's very crisp in the ring, and he's got a hell of a lot of timing. And as I've said a million times, you can't teach timing. Pac, as we all know, is just a phenomenal athlete. He always delivers in the ring. This should be a 4-star match minimum. I don't care what anyone thinks, but I'm really looking forward to the fact that they both wrestle a very British hard-hitting style when they want to. So I'm looking forward to this being quite a European-styled match as opposed to everything else on the card, which should provide a nice different balance to all the overly American wrestling we're going to get for the rest of the evening. But I don't see Pac losing. I want Kip to win, I really do, but I don't see Pac losing the title. It just seems to me like they're going to build him up on a monster run before he goes anywhere near losing that belt.
Okay, and Tyler, just to touch on what Nick's saying, that like he just doesn't see how Pac loses, and I'm kind of in agreement with him, because it sucks that if he is losing it on a pay-per-view and its first major defense on TV for like the grand audience, it wouldn't be cool for him. But at the same time, don't you think that would be kind of, I don't want to say burying, I don't like that word here, but it would kind of be pushing down Kip Sabian after this whole thing they've been building up for months. Very slowly, not like a great build, just they've been showing him and let you know like this is something that's going to be blossoming. And then he shows up his first match and is down. Do you see them pulling the trigger on that and letting Pac still, I guess, walk out Mid-Atlantic champion?
Yes and no. I like Kip Sabian. I'm in agreement. This is the best presentation of him, because he's showing versatility not only with his wrestling style, but his character with a bag over his head, and then getting, some redemption on Pac. So I think, to your point, Nick, you've got more of the experience with the British style wrestling. They're going to give us that and more. I don't see Pac losing, because I can also see that side of it. I think for Kip Sabian, I don't think this is going to be a one-off. Is why I think there's still hope for Sabian. I think they could continue this, because something could happen with the finish of the match, some sort of interference where as long as it makes sense, you could continue with this feud. I mean, and I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. There's no need to make it just always a one-match affair. You could get a couple out of it.
I agree.
Penelope Ford's healthy, isn't she?
Yes, she's been she wrestled on Rampage a few weeks ago.
Oh, there we go. So I'm assuming Penelope could get involved in the finish of this match.
True.
She is Kip's missus.
Yeah, and God bless him too.
So you guys both got Pac here, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so right. This is the first one I'm agreeing with. I'm going Kip, just for the simple fact I would hate it for Kip to lose his first match back. again, just because he's been on TV literally every single week, it seems like it would be silly to be like, hey, yeah, this thing's coming, this thing's coming, this thing's coming, this gonna and then we're just like, he loses, and we're just gonna ship him off the Rampage. But so that's the pre-show. Good matches. This might be the first pre-show I'm like, I don't want to miss. I've missed a few. Didn't hurt my feelings. I think if I missed this one, I'd be kind of like, damn.
It makes you want to care.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting the Mid-Atlantic Championship on there is a big deal to me just because that's how it's treated so far. Okay, so now we will move to the main show. As always, we don't know the order of these matches, so I'm just going to give them in the order I wrote them down. Obviously, Mox and Punk is the main event. I think the match I have first should be the one that kicks it off. I think it gets the crowd hype. It's one of the matches the fans will probably be the most invested in as far as the grand fan base and not just the diehards. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho with Daniel Garcia on a pole. I'll start off with you, Tyler. Do you care that much about this match? Does the Garcia thing make you care enough about this match other than just relying on the fact that it's Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho?
It does make me care because I think they're sowing the seeds of doubt and making you anticipate whether he's going to actually align with Jericho or actually side with Bryan Danielson in that faction. So I think that engages the audience enough. And Daniel Garcia has so much potential. And this is a great rub from Jericho and Danielson. And I think Danielson and Jericho will go out there and have a great match because if I'm not mistaken, gentlemen, didn't they have a match in NXT, Jericho and Bryan Danielson?
I think so.
Yes.
So this would create, more of that history even with AEW now. They just continued it. It's a progression. And so I think it's interesting to have Garcia out there, and who knows who else might show up because All Out is also about surprises. And I think anytime you get a pay-per-view, you just never know what you're going to get. So I think it will be a good match, but who am I going to pick to win is, boy, that's tough. I think I'm going to have to go with Danielson, though.
Okay. And Nick, do you see Garcia, whoever Garcia ends up siding with at the end of this, do you see him playing a factor in helping them win this match?
The only way I see Garcia getting involved is if it's a screw job on Danielson all along. If he's with Jericho, I can see him getting involved and helping Jericho win. If he's with Danielson, I don't think he's going to get involved at all. Because it would behoove his character, if he's going to join the Blackpool Combat Club, to start acting like members of the Blackpool Combat Club, as opposed to acting like a sports entertainer in bunny ears. So,
just to touch on that, though, do we even still consider Danielson a member of the BCC? Because he doesn't really associate. I know Claudio and Yuta came to help him, but it doesn't really seem that stable is like a well-oiled machine anymore. They're just kind of like doing their own things, and it's not, other than what's on Moxley's little hoodie that he wears, I don't see anything BCC anymore.
Well, the only thing they really have in common is they all come to the ring with William Regal.
Yeah, so
that's true. That's a great point, though, that you brought up.
The BCC is a major thing moving forward. I hope it was, because I think they were doing some really cool things, but I know everyone's like Daniel Garcia BCC, and he had the opportunity to do it backstage, and he said he wanted to do it with Chris Jericho because he wanted to learn the other side of the business. So props to him for that. That was the smart thing to do because we already know he can wrestle. But yeah, the BCC thing is weird to me because it just doesn't feel like it's a faction anymore.
It's rather confusing that you all brought that up because, the only thing, Nick, you said it was Regal coming out with them. I mean, they're not really together, and to me, that's a missed opportunity. Here you got Claudio, you've got William Regal for crying out loud, and you got Bryan Danielson, Yuta Wheeler. I just fell, I guess, in love with, not in a bad way, just his wrestling style. He seems to fit, is what I was getting at. But I was thinking, boy, this is going to come out weird. That's all I need. Hey, Tyler, he's got something for Yuta Wheeler. Now, I did for his wrestling, not that way, but to your point, I think it's all fascinating. I mean, are they really a group? And I'm going to leave it to you guys.
Yeah, and then also, I think the match that I saw that they were presenting on Dynamite is Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for that pure championship after the pay-per-view. So that's another thing I look at as far as like if Garcia is really going to join Danielson in the BCC. Do you think that match on Dynamite could play into the BCC stuff too? I guess is what I'm trying to
Yes.
get. Okay.
Yes, because the whole point of the Blackpool Combat Club is they all fight each other to earn their place. Well, Garcia is going to have to fight people to earn his place. Yeah. Wheeler Yuta is effectively Moxley's protege. He's Moxley's young boy. Moxley's the one he had to fight to get in. Yeah. Garcia's already fought Danielson and proven that he can go. The match with Wheeler, I think, is just the caveat on the cake where Garcia wins. And I think there's a good chance that Garcia and Danielson become a separate entity from the Blackpool Combat Club. And you just leave the BCC as Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler.
All right. So who do you guys got coming out of here? I'm taking Chris Jericho just for the simple fact that I just always feel like he kisses enough butt backstage to get the wins that he wants. It's very rare that I see him like lose these big matches. So I'm taking Chris Jericho here. I think Dan Garcia stays with him in the end. But what do you guys think?
I'm going with Bryan Danielson for the exact opposite reason. I think Chris Jericho is going to expect Garcia to do something. Garcia is not going to do it, and that's going to cost him the match.
I'm going with Danielson as well. I just think Chris Jericho's had enough victories. I don't think it's going to hurt him. And I think Garcia, to Nick's point, something's going to happen between him and these two wrestlers. And I don't know. I'm big on Danielson getting an important win here. I think he's due.
Okay. He is due because he fell off after the Hangman Page stuff. I know he got injured, but it just seems like he's been in
he did.
Yeah. So next up is it won't be in this spot, but it's where we're going to talk about it. The 4-way for the interim women's championship. I really wish it wasn't the interim title, it was the real one. I am excited for this match though, because there's some layered stories going on here. You got Toni Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida. So we'll start this off. I don't want to know who you think is going to win, unless it just so happens to be who you want to win as well. But Nick, who would you want to see win this match if Tony Khan he says that this is going to shake up the women's division? So with
Toni Storm.
Okay.
Toni Storm. That she is my girl. She has been for years. I think she's a fantastic worker. She's got unlimited potential. She's in her 20s still.
Yeah.
She's got years ahead of her, and he talks about shaking up the women's division. Putting the belt back on Britt Baker is not shaking up the women's division. Putting the belt back on Hikaru Shida, is not shaking up the women's division. And as much as I love Jamie Hayter, I don't think it's her time yet. Tony's marketable. She's a fantastic worker. The girl is everything that a wrestling champion needs to be. So Toni Storm.
And Tyler, what about you?
I'm actually going to go with Jamie Hayter. I know it's early. I'm in agreement with Nick, and I'm a big fan of all these ladies. Toni Storm, I mean, he brought up a lot of valuable info on her, but I just feel like to change it up, I'm coming at it from that vantage point. I think Jamie Hayter, if she wins a championship, this is going to prove how important that she is to this women's division, and she can break apart from Britt Baker, that whole faction.
Yeah. I think if we're shaking it up, I think I'm agree with Tyler here. I think Jamie is the way to go here because one, as Nick pointed out, Britt and Hikaru, they've already won the title. They've had their run. It's not shaking anything up. Toni, I think, is the expected person to win here because she was going to go in that thing with Thunder Rosa. And we just saw them do this interim nonsense with Mox and Punk, how they were supposed to go against each other. So they put the interim title on Mox just to make it happen. And we saw the backlash they got from it. I think Jamie Hayter, if you have her win this, it starts the tension between her and Britt, and it gives her that feud with Britt that could really just take her to the next level. Because as much as people hate Britt Baker, and as much as she's not that great in the ring, what she does, like everything else Britt does, is just money. And it will help elevate Hayter to that spot she needs to be. And that's why I think, personally, I would book Hayter to win this match. But with that said now, real quick, who do you think is going to win this match? Nick, again, I'll start with you.
Toni Storm. For all the reasons that you listed. Okay. One, I want Toni to win, but Tony Khan doesn't change his mind. like for anybody's business. If he wants to do something, he wants to do it. He doesn't care about fan backlash. He doesn't really give a shit what anyone's opinions are. Otherwise, he wouldn't say what he says on conference calls.
But to that point, we all agree that AEW needs to start doing something different, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So don't you
They
think
do.
We all know Tony is very hard-headed. He's going to stick to his guns on whatever he does. Don't you think at some point that maybe he starts to not stick to his guns and he realizes, hey, things got to go in a different direction? Do you think
Maybe,
that
but
could have
not
been
yet.
something to do with this, with talent now speaking up? And again, this is speculation stuff, but that's what we work with speculation.
And considering All Out, you just never know. I mean,
yeah.
That's the thing about it. It's a big pay-per-view, so the surprise may be just in the booking, not only just wrestlers coming out.
And we all agree that there's really no free agent that he can bring in that would make a big splash, yes? So you have to rely on your booking here. To go completely 180 from what you normally do, I think is the best way to do it if you're trying to basically hit a reset here and really shake things up. I think he's got to kind of start going away from what he has been doing and start kind of, again, not sticking to your guns. Just listen to outside things and maybe do some things to cause conversation. We see it with WWE. They do it all the time. It pisses people off, but it gets people talking. Raquel and Aaliyah. And it works. But Tyler, we'll cut it back to you. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm still going to be behind Hayter. I still feel confident in that. That may surprise a lot of people, but hey, they got to respect that I'm bold on my prediction. I'm going to stick with her.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say I think Tony Storm wins it. I really don't think it's the way to go here if you're doing what he says he's wanting to do, but knowing that he has the Tony Storm feud in his back pocket, he's going to want to stick with it. And I think Tony's done enough to deserve it at this point. Like, she's came in and done a really good job, and she has charisma. So it's something that Thunder Rose, I feel, lacked, where I can watch Tony Storm. I can watch a Tony Storm segment. I can't watch the Thunder Roses segment. No disrespect, but that's just what it is. So
there's just a contrast.
Yeah. Big contrast. Next up, we got the House of Black versus Sting, Darby, and Miro. We'll do this one real quickly just because it seems to be like a thrown together thing. I know there's backstory a little bit, but this is there's 2 6-man matches, and this is the one that I'm like, no, there's 3 6-man matches. Jeez, stop doing that. Yeah. I think this is the one that is the least intriguing of the 3, so I don't think we should spend much time on it. Real quick, Tyler, who do you got going over here and why?
I think I'm going to go with Miro, Sting, and Darby Allin just because the House of Black has seemed to have their number, and I think it's pretty obvious here who's going to go over. And I mean, that may be the easy way out, but I'm just going to have to go with it. I think that's going to happen.
The way to go, man.
You're right. Yeah.
Nick, what about you?
I see Sting, Darby, and Miro winning, and more importantly, I see Miro making Buddy Matthews tap out.
He's getting oddly specific here. What's your beef with Buddy Matthews?
I don't have a beef with Buddy Matthews, but unfortunately, he has been the least pushed member of the House of Black. Brody King was put in a high-level feud with Darby Allin. He was made to look like a killer. Malachi Black is always... He's not presented brilliantly, but he's always presented as a leader and a strong figurehead. Should be. But I think that Buddy's the weakest member of the group, so he's the one they can afford to sacrifice in a pinfall. So I think Miro makes Buddy tap out while Sting and Darby keep the other 2 busy.
Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the theme of this, that I'm just going against y'all guys. I'm taking House of Black here. I think if you really want to keep... If you want Malachi Black to be the big deal that he should be, he has to win here. He just has to at this point. I don't mind them taking this and turning it and going with a Sting Malachi Black match later on down the road. I hope that's what comes from this. I think it would be very cool. I like to see where the Sting face paint thing is going, because you saw it gets bigger and bigger, just like it did with Julia Hart. I'm curious how that's going to end up here. I think that's actually an intriguing part that I didn't think of before when I said we don't need to spend much time on this match. I'll stick to my words. We won't spend that much time on it. I definitely have House of Black going over here. And I'm going to be oddly specific as well. I got Malachi Black pinning Darby Allin, and that's what it is. And
I think.
boom.
Hey, I think Sting turning heel may be interesting though. Like you said,
no.
that's the other aspect.
No.
Nick is about to lose his mind and leave.
Right, absolutely no. They have tried to turn Sting heel 3 times in his 30-year career, and it failed miserably every single time. Nobody wants to boo Sting. It's Sting, especially at this point in his career. Nobody will ever boo that man, Tyler.
I'm just playing what ifs, man. I don't know.
I used to boo Sting all the time back in the day when he was trying to fight the NWO. So I do want to boo him. But we'll move on. So,
what if it's the fake Sting, though? I'm just kidding. No.
We'll move on to the other women's match on this card. I really wish I could be more excited about this, but I just feel like they dropped the ball completely on Jade Cargill over the last month and a half, 2 months. This feud has just kind of been like, man,
they're feuding.
It's dragged, and I think maybe that Chris Statlander's injury played a part into that. Yeah. But just, do you honestly think Jade Cargill drops the title to Athena here, Nick?
I really want her to, because I think Athena either just wasted her time signing with AEW if she doesn't get this championship. The girl's got the best finisher in women's wrestling by far. She's unbelievable in the ring. She doesn't look like your typical diva / thing. She's a big built girl that looks like she could take your head off. But I just don't think they're going to take this belt off Jade. I really don't think Tony's going to take the belt off Jade. I think he just built Athena up poorly, I'll add, to lose. It's another one just to lose to Jade. And I think this is probably going to be Jade's best match because Athena's really good.
That wouldn't be hard to do. And that's I don't mean that as a knock on Jade because I praise her all the time. I love Jade. I just think she's been utilized, booked, and presented. Well, not presented. Presentation is great. But in the ring, she's been presented horribly, in my opinion.
And she should just be destroying people.
Yeah, she should be. Mm-hmm. So just to build on what Nick was saying, Tyler, do you think they've done enough with Athena to have her come in and take out who I think should be one of your superstars of that company in Jade Cargill?
No, they haven't. Athena has been kind of misutilized, and that's a shame because I'm with what you guys are speaking about. She's so talented coming out of NXT as Ember Moon and in the main roster even. However, they built so much the momentum and the push with Jade Cargill. And you're right, she's not been able to have a longer match. Maybe with Athena, she can have that opportunity. But I think Stokely Hathaway gets involved. You have the baddies. I think that's evident. And something will happen where Jade will get the win. So I don't see her taking the belt, even if Athena deserves it. I don't blame him, though, because Jade Cargill, there's something about her. She may not be the greatest wrestler, but it's all in her presentation.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. She's drawing.
Just to touch on Nick's Athena having the best finisher in women's. I think her finisher is what holds her back a little bit, honestly, because it's too much of a sit around and wait move. You gotta like suspend your disbelief to be like, okay, here it comes. There's no way her opponent is gonna see this coming, and it's like it's the stuff we talk about with the Young Bucks and not just them, Lucha Brothers. There's people like basically the luchador stuff in general where there's a lot of standing around waiting. Well, in this one, it's literally she's standing around waiting in the ring to take Athena's finisher. I think that holds her back. That's something I believe since her WWE days. I think it would be criminal here to take the belt off Jade just for the simple fact that they haven't built Athena up. Had they done it better, I'd be all for it. Because right here, picking Athena in this one, time to get the belt presented better in the ring and let Jade circle back. And so she's better in the ring. And this I agree with, except for when people see Jade Cargill, they're like, oh, shit. And I think that's a good person to have a belt on. If they cut her matches in half and just have her dominating people for the most part, it fixes everything to me. It fixes everything to me. She shouldn't dominate Athena. 100%. That shouldn't be the case at all. I think we could get a decent match out of this because Athena is very talented. I just think it'd be criminal to have Athena win it after the way they presented her. It would be horrible. But I also could see Layla Gray playing a part in Jade losing here. Since she's basically a she's a baddie, but she's not a baddie. Jade don't want her.
She's an interim. We hate the word, but she's an interim
baddie. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, she could turn on her.
Yeah, she may try to help, and in turn, it makes it look like she was trying to screw Jade. Jade loses, and it protects Jade to an extent. It gives Jade something going afterwards, keeps her relevant, and then puts the belt on Athena, and hopefully she could do something with it. But we've seen in the past that doesn't work. That Thunder Rosa, prime example. She wasn't presented that great going into the Britt Baker match. We were just, they had a great match last year, so Thunder deserves the championship. Kind of the same thing with Athena here.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you got to present her better for me to believe that it should happen.
Because you're elevating your stars. Yeah, go ahead.
They have not booked Athena well at all. Like, I mean, the women's division's horribly booked in AEW. We talk about it all the time, but they have not. Unfortunately, they have not presented Athena as the killer she needs to be a legitimate threat to Jade Cargill.
Yeah. All right. So with that, you guys both have Athena here.
No, Jade.
No, I've got Jade.
Okay. So we all agree on this one. Jade with the sweep here, which probably means she's gonna win. And we got Athena. It's Athena's time. Man,
I wish it was Courtney, but I really don't see Tony taking that belt off Jade.
I don't think it's the time for it.
No. So next match is probably the one I'm the most emotionally invested in. That doesn't involve CM Punk, Jungle Boy, and Christian. The best built match on the card, hands down. If you disagree, argue with your mama. I ain't gonna listen to it. It's been done to perfection. Jungle Boy has turned into Jungle Man. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. We discussed this the other day on the pod. Nick, you're itching to talk about something here, so I'm not even going to set you up with anything. The floor is yours. Let us know what you think.
This match has me more excited than any other match this weekend. Christian Cage is an absolute genius when it comes to building and leveling a feud. He is possibly the best heel going right now that MJF sorted off for a bit. His work...
I'll say he's better than MJF. He's not trying to be cool.
No, very true. His work is absolutely sublime. He gets legitimate heat. Yeah. And the fact that we are hopefully going to transition from Jungle Boy to Jack Perry is hopefully so JR will finally get his name right. We're going to transition to him just being Jungle Boy Jack Perry, which is what I'm hoping for. It's obvious to me who's winning this match. Jungle Boy has to win this match. The way they've built this feud up, Jungle Boy needs to win. But Christian is the perfect foil for that lad. He's going to make him look like $1 million. Just the promos building up to this, the little sit-down interview they did the other day, they both played their parts so friggin' well. I cannot wait for this match. It is going to over-deliver.
And just to touch on how great this has been, that sit-down, as good as it was the worst part of this feud so far. Yeah. And that's not a knock on it at all, because it was still really good.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you see Luchasaurus playing a role in this match since he's suspended? Do you see him making a return here? And if so, where do you see him aligning himself?
I think he does make a return, but I think it would be more interesting if he stayed with Christian.
Yes.
Because we've saw Jack Perry, the alignment. That gets boring. That gets stale. I think let's change it up. Christian Cage, I'm with you, Nick. One of the best wrestlers. He reinvents himself everywhere he goes. Remember, he's TNA champion after being so successful in WWE. He comes Impact World Champion from Kenny Omega. Comes back. Now he's doing this program. I love the interaction with the family, with the mom and sister, dropping some cuss words because it made you think these people really can't stand each other. Yeah, you could see where there'd be some legitimate hate. And he has picked up the slack where MJF and a lot of people that are the heels have lacked. That shows his experience. That's why this guy has been in the WWE. He's been around Edge. I mean, we've seen the gift of gab in the best kind of way. He can be the best babyface, the best villain. It shows his versatility, his depth as a character, and his work is still incredible. Yeah. Christian is one of the best workers out there. It's been stated on multiple podcasts from people that know him. Before he even got into WWE on the indies, people were just impressed with him and Edge, their work. They're like, we got to sign these guys. JR talks about it. And Jim Cornette, we've got to sign these guys, Vince. And, that's what's impressive to see his resurgence. It's just like he's as good as he ever was. So Luchasaurus, to me, he needs to do a double turn where he comes out and sides with Christian. And then Jack Perry can find him another good babyface ally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll just go rewind back to that first promo that Christian cut after the turn happened. It was if the MJF promo didn't happen, and we all know which promo I'm talking about. That arguably is the promo of the year to me that Christian cut because I was just like he is not saying this. He is a madman right now. I was so just in love with what I was hearing, and at the same time, I was like, I hate this son of a bitch. So I wanted to touch on that because again, I love the praise Christian's getting. I've always been a Christian guy. I've even over Edge growing up, I always thought Christian was slightly better, and I'm glad that he's still able to make himself relevant with just the little bit he's been given. I agree with Tyler. I think Luchasaurus sides with Christian here because the most interesting Luchasaurus has been to me was that those few weeks where he was out there destroying people in the all black. The music was amazing. The presentation was off the charts. He reminded me of, and I saw a few other people saying this, of Kane in the early days. Just a legit monster that was there to hurt you. Yeah. So I have him coming in. I have him helping Christian win this match. So obviously I'm going Christian, Nick, Tyler. Who do you have going over here?
Well, originally I was thinking Jack Perry at all, but Luchasaurus did never change out of the heel getup.
Nope, and he never really interacted in a positive way with Christian. He was just kind of there.
It's just there. So you guys have swayed me. I'm gonna go Christian Cage thanks to Luchasaurus interference.
I'm going Christian too. It's unanimous. I can't help it. He's on fire right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's better now than he was last year when he was the Impact World Champion. How about that?
He is, yeah. And that's saying a lot because I thought that was impressive, but he's stepped it up even more.
Yeah.
So he's amazing.
We're all in agreement here. Christian, another clean sweep. I like that one, though. I'm okay with it. So next up, we have the match that should be, but it shouldn't be. The second six-man match of the night, Wardlow teaming with FTR to take on the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal. If we could just pluck Wardlow and Lethal out, as we mentioned earlier, this match would be fantastic and probably the match of the night.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. We're going to put Wardlow and Jay Lethal back in the match because reasons. How much do you think, Tyler, that the addition of Jay Lethal and Wardlow will hurt the quality of this match?
As long as they keep Wardlow just being that monster, and he's only needs to tag in when necessary, I think it's not going to hurt the match. Jay Lethal will be fine. I know he didn't need to necessarily be in the match, but you talk about a guy that's one of the best workers too that can can work with anybody, mesh with anybody's style. That's FTR, that's the Motor City Machine Guns. But I'm in agreement and concur that I would have just loved to seen the Motor City Machine Guns and FTR. I think everybody would. But I understand it because they probably just wanted to at least include Lethal and Wardlow because Tony Khan got a lot of flack because Lethal was not used properly in the beginning. Absolutely. And not that he cares about the opinions. Nick brought up that point. But it's true. Why underutilize Lethal of all people? I mean, this is a guy for Ring of Honor and your AEW roster. He could do double duty. So I'm fine with him being in it. I'm with you. I wish it was 2-on-2, but Wardlow, he's such a big star and he's kind of waned a little bit. Him being with FTR kind of resurrecting the Pinnacle. And here's another thing to think about. I think it may be too early for MJF to return, but what match do you think? Do you think he makes an appearance during this match or they tease something?
I don't think it would be this match. I think if MJF comes back, it has to be a big deal. And right now, the TNT title is not a big deal.
I agree.
There's only
the deal with FTR is. I don't see how that fits in with MJF.
I think there's only one spot on the card for MJF.
There's two, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I just want to throw it out there.
Yeah, I'm not, and what I'm saying is no way a shot at Lethal and Wardlow because I'm a big Wardlow supporter and I really love Jay Lethal. I just think they
too many.
I don't know what terminology you use here that isn't grotesque. I think
too many cooks spoil the broth.
The Jay Lethal Wardlow stuff ended too soon. They didn't build it up at all. And when you have someone like Jay Lethal, who is a great antagonist, it could have been so well played. And you could have had that match on this pay-per-view and it would have worked. Nick, I'll let you take the floor here. what does bringing in the Motor City Machine Guns make any sense other than to appease the fans here?
Yes.
Okay, take
it
it away.
Makes sense.
I'll gladly listen to this.
It makes sense from a canonical standpoint because of their relationship with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt.
Okay, I see this is stuff I didn't know, so this is good news. This is
Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt go all the way back to 2003 with the Motor City Machine Guns. They broke into TNA together. They were traveling buddies. They were road buddies. They have known each other for years. They've ran the Indies together. They worked Ring of Honor together. They are a very close, well-knit group of friends. So for me, it makes perfect sense bringing the Machine Guns in. The other reason you need to bring the Machine Guns in is from Jay Lethal and Sanjay's part. They needed a counter for what is arguably the best tag team of the generation. So you bring in the best tag team of their generation. Which opens up with, I, like you, though, just wish Jay and Wardlow weren't in the match. Yeah. Right? It's just the Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR is a dream match in modern wrestling that legitimately everybody wants to see. But unfortunately, it's being spoiled by making it a 6-man. I am not the biggest fan of Wardlow. You know this, Jim. I understand what they are trying to do with him. I just don't think he should be anywhere near where he is right now. It's like they've rushed him to Goldberg's US title run, but they've done it in half the time.
It's kind of the same thing they did with Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
They've pushed same thing they did with Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
I think they handled his a little bit better. I think his was handled a little bit better. But he also had MJF to help him get there. Jay kind of had to do it organically. But yeah, I think they to see where Wardlow was just a few months ago, where he is now, is like just mind blowing to me. And I really thought Jay Lethal was going to help that kind of get back to where it was. And a match like this is not going to do the trick. So with that, Nick, who do you have winning this match?
FTR and Wardlow. without a
how many
shadow
power bombs do you think we see?
6.
Tyler, power bombs, how many, and who do you got winning?
10 stars for Meltzer, so 10 power bombs. I've got FTR too. I just don't see Motor City Machine Guns and Lethal going over against Wardlow and FTR. They're just, especially since we're not going to see Motor City Machine Guns a lot on TV. I don't think, as far as AEW.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the surprise pick here. I think Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal win here, with Jay Lethal pinning Cash Wheeler. That way, he can continue his pursuit of Wardlow, and then the FTR Motor City Machine Guns match isn't completely foiled that you can have later on down the road. It gives us a nice shock, like what did we just see? And again, it helps things progress past the show. So I'm going with the first shock pick of the night. I know AEW doesn't do a lot of those. I'm fingers crossed we get some of them on this night, and that's my first one I'm going for. So next up, we are not going to discuss this match. I'm just going to ask you who you got winning and who you think the Joker is. We have the Casino Ladder match. Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Phoenix, Roosh, Andrade, Dante Martin, and the Joker. Tyler, who do you think the Joker is going to be?
This is a match that's hard because it's only speculation. I saw news that Adam Cole may be, but to me, that's not going to really surprise or do anything. Yeah. With all due respect to Adam Cole. So this is a tough one. I don't know. I was going to just tease and say maybe Ric Flair is coming out. I have no idea. I don't know who's going to be the Joker. So I'm going to throw it to Nick. I'm just going to go by who you all think because I didn't study this one as good.
It's got to be MJF, right?
I don't think so at all.
I've been racking my brain for weeks trying to think of who is Joker because, as you said, there's no big free agent signings right now.
Oh.
Everybody's already taken up. So it's a question if it's either a returning star, where Adam Cole, for example, who does kind of fit the bill, and if Adam Cole is the Joker, he's probably going to win the match. But for me, this is a good time to bring MJF back because it instantly gives him a title shot if he wins, which instantly puts him back in Punk and Moxley's direction, which pushes the story forward without having to have too much of a narrative beat, which is good if you're going to bring somebody back fast and trying to interject them into a storyline that's already been half played out. Whether it is MJF, I'm only like 10% on it being 10% on it being MJF. I think it's a higher likelihood that it's Adam Cole. But if we take the Joker out of the match, Roosh should win.
Okay. Roosh with another title match so soon?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say I really hope it's not Adam Cole because it doesn't make sense to me. And with him losing Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, I think they need to take their time and find something worthy to bring him back with. This ain't it. This ain't it at all, buddy. As far as the MJF thing, I'm against it for the simple fact that it doesn't make sense. But just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean Tony won't do it. If that man was on my television show, just dog cussing me and my talent and everything about my program, there's no way I'm going to allow him to give him the opportunity to be in this match. So that's why it doesn't make sense to me. I do think there's a way they could do it and play it to where it makes sense for the main event match if Mox or MJF is in this, because if he's in it, he's winning. There's no doubt about it. I don't have a name that I can tie to this match as far as the Joker is concerned. I think it's going to be an outsider, though. I think it's going to be someone from New Japan here. That seems to be a well they go to in these situations. And Nick, you're going, ooh, like you have someone in mind. So go ahead and fill in the blank for me. I think it's going to be
Kota Ibushi.
There we go. Boom. Thank you very much. That's my pick. It's Ibushi.
Tyler, that would be interesting.
Who do you got?
That's the thing. It'd have to be an outsider. And I was thinking of all who's injured. So
Andrade's already in it, David.
I know. So New Japan. I'm trying to think. This is crazy. I'm not even going to say who I thought because he's left over.
So with that,
go ahead. Let's go ahead.
With that said, Tyler, who do you got winning it? And if you don't know who the Joker is, you want to pick the Joker, just say I picked the Joker. That's fine with me. I'm
just going to pick the Joker because I'll be honest, it's a who's who at this point. This is a match that's got me confused, but in a good way. I'm trying to.
I like the idea of not knowing. That's always the best way to go into these things.
Yep.
I just want to be shocked with the Joker, and there's a good chance you will be shocked with the Joker. And Nick, you said you're taking Rush here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead with the Joker here. Just because there is the small possibility it is MJF. And again, I think there's a story you can play into the main event. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that when we get to the main event. But the other 90% of me is saying Ibushi, because thank you for filling in the blank with that. That's my choice. That's my pick. That's what it's going to be. I'm picking the Joker too. It's an easy one. It's just, the Joker. The Joker's going to win. So with that, we will move on to, I don't even want to give this one that much time just because they didn't give it that much time. So it doesn't really deserve it. And it's a shame because I like all parties involved. Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaimed, the tag team title match for the titles that not even AEW and Tony Khan care about. Nick, if you have anything to say, what is it? Because I have nothing to say here.
Right. I have a personal problem with the AEW tag division, as
well as a lot of other people.
This personal problem is the fact that every time the Young Bucks are World Tag Team Champions, those belts are all over Dynamite. Yet every time any other team owns the World Tag Team Championships, they're relegated to Rampage, which is where Swerve and Our Glory have been for the past 3 months.
I'm glad that people have started to pick up on this narrative that I was pushing for so long.
It's true. It is ridiculous.
People thought I was just hating on the Bucks. No, he's not hating on the Bucks. It's fact. Yeah,
it's actual fact. It's just irritating. But I mean, the Acclaimed are great. Swerve and Keith Lee are great. This should be a good match, even though there's been no build to it, like whatsoever, and it's just there for the sake of being there, because you've got to have the tag titles on the pay-per-view, which they should be on the pay-per-view. I see Swerve and Keith winning because I don't see their title reign going. The Acclaim can eat a loss and it's not going to hurt them, and they're still going to come out of it looking good. Keith Lee will get to throw some people around. Swerve will get to do some flips, show off, do some cool stuff, and then Swerve and Our Glory will walk away with the belts.
I'll go one step further, David. I think it gives the impression that these tag titles are D titles. That's how low they are presented on the show, and that's a damn shame because the tag division is so freaking good.
It's sad.
Tyler,
so stacked.
Do you in any way think that the tag titles here could change hands?
No, I don't. I think you got to keep it on Keith Lee and Swerve. I do like the Acclaimed. I think they're very, they've got charisma. They're very entertaining. I like the rap, and I like the whole Billy Gunn situation with his sons, you know.
And daddy ass.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is more like a loss is not going to hurt them. I can agree with that. I think this is more for learning for the Acclaim because they're going to be in there with some guys that can really teach them a lot. Because not that they claim they're not talented and have not learned, but you're talking like Keith Lee and Swerve. So I think that's only going to help them. So, but I don't see them winning. I think the tag titles stay with, Lee and Swerve.
Okay, so you picking Swerve in Our Glory. Nick, you're taking
I am.
Yeah, Swerve in Our Glory.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead with another shocker here. I'm going to take the Acclaimed. And I'm taking the Acclaimed out of hope here, because if there's one tag team that doesn't get crapped on like the rest of them, not named the Young Bucks, it's the Acclaimed. They're on the show weekly. They get segments. And if there's a tag team not named the Young Bucks on that roster that you can put the titles on and make them, at least present them on the show on a week-to-week basis and say, hey, these are our guys, not make you go like, wait, who is the champs right now? I got to. Yeah. So I think the Acclaimed are the guys you can do that with. They were robbed of them earlier this year. 100%. I stand by that. They should have been champs. It's a damn shame it didn't happen. And as much as I would love to see a better built match for them to take the titles for the first time, I'm all in. Not all out. I'm all in on the Acclaim winning these titles tonight. And it's literally based on hope. So
they represent the future.
Again. Yeah. 2-1 on that one again. I'm getting ganged up on here, but it's all right. It's okay. I can take it. D is a bit too far. I've said that. I'll just get bumped all together. Yeah. Just because it was bumped from a pay-per-view doesn't mean it wasn't presented on a weekly basis, though, man. So that argument don't work here. Sorry. I can't listen to that one.
You've been vetoed, buddy.
Next up, we have the second most anticipated match on the card for myself, because it is my man Ricky Starks taking on Will Hobbs. The build for this has been, I would say, fairly good. I think it's been a slow burn. I think you've kept them away from each other, which is always good, because it just makes you go like, okay, when are they finally going to get their hands on each other? I'm very excited that Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks are getting a big spot on a pay-per-view. This is a match that people are looking forward to, and again, it's been built up pretty well compared to most of the other card, the rest of the card, I mean. So with Nick, whether it doesn't matter who wins this match, Starks or Hobbs, do you see this match elevating the winner of this match, where they can take the next step?
Yes,
honestly. You think they'll follow through with it? I guess that's my question. You think they'll follow through with it?
Well, I would hope that AEW will follow through with it. Ricky Starks has unlimited potential, and he has a lot of momentum right now. Will Hobbs is amazing. He's got a new entrance. He's got a new look. I think it's new music with the same beginning. I like the way Hobbs is presented. They both have the ability to elevate themselves and to elevate each other in the ring. They know each other very, very well. And I think by the end of this match, we're going to have two guys that were previously here are going to be up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler, I'll just go ahead and ask you, who do you got winning this match and why?
I think I'm going to go with Ricky Starks. I like both these guys, Powerhouse Hobbs, but I think it's not going to hurt if Ricky Starks is pushed, because I thought he was great as a heel. I think he's equally going to be just as stellar as a babyface. I think the way he's been doing promos, it's not going to hurt Powerhouse Hobbs, because once again, you could have him do another match. So I see it. I think a long term, not just one angle. I like to build things out as long as they make sense, and I think they do here, given their history and it getting personal. And what is the old saying? Issues matter in wrestling.
Yeah.
And him targeting the neck, and I think you could draw a lot of things out of that.
I like that they focus on that part. I'm going to go ahead and say here, I think Ricky Starks, if Will Hobbs was to lose this match, I don't think it helps him. I think it would kind of put him back to where he was a few months ago. I think he's just there. He's just there if he takes a loss here. Ricky Starks can take a loss here for the simple fact that the man oozes charisma.
Yeah.
He's on the screen. You're like, what you got? I'm invested. I want to know what he's about to say. The raw emotion. I don't think anybody showcases more raw emotion in all of wrestling, at least the wrestling that I watch, than Ricky Starks does.
No.
That man will be
He's incredible.
And then he'll go right into crying and then right back into hype. Heel, face, it doesn't matter. That's a big deal. And I just think I would hate to see Hobbs take a loss here, knowing, I don't know for a fact, it's kind of speculation, but it definitely seems like Hobbs doesn't have the tools yet to take this loss on his first big spot on a pay-per-view.
I agree with that.
So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say I love you, Ricky. I love you a lot, man. I don't see you winning here, but I do see both men doing big things down the line. And as David said here, this should be a progression for Ricky Starks being the world title picture this time next year, if not sooner. Absolutely. And again,
Completely
you can
agree.
do that with a loss. So
Yes, you can.
I would love to see Hobbs win this match and then move into a Wardlow program, because that would be money to me.
That'd be great.
That. Nick, who do you got winning?
Hobbs. I don't see. I agree with you, Jimmy. I don't think he can afford to eat the loss right now. I think the way this story has been told, the way this story has been built, Hobbs has to win. So Ricky can come back and continue on that trail of trying to get back up there and get revenge to finally turn it around and go, I beat the big monster. Yeah. But to do that, you have to have the good guy lose.
Does the Nightmare Factory get involved here?
Oh, God, I hope not. I hope not.
That would ruin it.
I really, really hope not. These two have the potential to steal the show, in my opinion, as far as single matches goes. Ricky is tremendous. If he can even lift Hobbs up for the rope combo, I'm going to come out of my seat.
I'm going to lose my mind, bro. I'm going to wake up everybody in the neighborhood.
That'd be amazing.
It's going to be fantastic.
I'm going with Hobbs. I think he needs the win. I think it'll do wonders for his career if he does get the win. And I think it'll hurt him inevitably if he loses.
And Tyler, who'd you take?
I took Starks. I'm going against the grain. Yeah.
I'm glad someone picked Starks. I hate not picking him. I really
so do I.
I mean, I see your guys' point though, but I gotta admit, being honest, I'm just going with Ricky on this one.
That's good. I'll gladly be wrong here. Hobbs does get the win here. Yep. Both guys come out more elevated than when they went in. And again, I'm so excited that they're getting this spot on a pay-per-view, because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll go to what I assume will be the co-main event. But then again, if there's shenanigans involved, it'll probably be earlier in the show, just so that it doesn't coincide with the shenanigans that we probably get in the main event as well. We're getting the finals of the trios titles. The Elite have already cemented themselves in this position on Rampage. I don't know. I haven't looked at the spoilers because I will probably watch the show tonight. But we have the Dark Order taking on the Best Friends with Hangman Adam Page putting himself on Team Dark Order. So I think we know where this one's going. Before we even get to the prediction, Tyler, is there any way you see the Best Friends being the ones that are taking on the Elite at All Out?
It's no offense to them. I see this, the Elite taking on Dark Order, Hangman Page, just to get him in a program. And I hate to say this, I don't care. This match, I mean, there's no build up. It's thrown together. That's the problem of why I'm not engaged in it. Unless it was a different formula. I think if we have a different team, and I know I'm going to get rebuttals here, so I can't wait.
Now, I will say that when this tournament started, I think every single person who watches the show was like, Hangman's just going to join the Dark Order, and then that's going to be that. I think it's very, very predictable here. This is one of those times where the predictability, I don't think, hurts the match itself, but I think I'm kind of over the Hangman Page, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega thing. And I know people are going to, it's because you hate the Young Bucks and you're not a fan of Kenny Omega. This is true. I'm not a fan of these guys. But the story to me, I think, is done. And I think it's way too soon to be revisiting it. Especially when there's other parts of this story that should have been involved, and they're now not. If they could have somehow got the Undisputed Era involved in this, and then the Jay White Bullet Club stuff involved in this, I think it would have been something like, okay, I'm invested. But when all these pieces fall out, it's like, okay, now why am I invested? Why is Hangman and the Elite essentially getting back together, which is what I think happens here? But why? That's my whole issue, is like, why?
Yeah, it just don't make sense.
So, Nick, I see you. It looked like you're agreeing with me.
Right. I'm going to agree, and I'm going to disagree.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you guys don't, unfortunately, it's a stupid way of booking, but being the Elite has become a very large storytelling tool for all of the Elite storylines.
They do it really well, too. I'm not going to shit on that. They do it really well.
And they have been building the Hangman return for about 8 months.
Yeah.
The one thing they have also been building is Kenny doesn't know that the Young Bucks didn't help him when he lost the title to Page. My brother has a theory. My brother's theory is that this is to reset the Elite. The match ends when Hangman double clotheslines the Dark Order with a buckshot lariat. Costs his own team the belts. The Bucks and Kenny win, and then on Dynamite, Hangman turns on Kenny. Kenny gets kicked out the Elite. Kenny turns face, which sets him up perfectly for his feud with Ospreay and New Japan. And then you go on with the Hung Bucks as the Trios champions and the new heels, which gives you a fresh twist on Hangman Page's character, which he desperately needs. And the Young Bucks are crappy baby faces. They're better off as heels.
I hear what you're saying. I don't want to say I don't like the theory. I just don't. I'm looking at it from a realistic standpoint, and I don't know how you do it. And it's like, I'm okay with it. Like, so Kenny and the Bucks win the titles, but then they kick Kenny out, and they're just like, well, we're just going to replace him with Hangman as the champ. It's like, how do you do, like, to me, it's
no. You make sure that Hangman is the reason they win the belts in the
first. But still, how do you, like, remove a champion from a team and just replace him with another? Especially when he wasn't even part of their group to begin with. Like, it is a lot of, I guess, hoop jumping here. If Hangman was a part of the group prior, okay, I can listen to that because we see it with the New Day. We've seen it with other teams as well. We're seeing it with Hangman and the Dark Order right now. But just for him to switch, that's a lot for me.
It's interesting, though.
It is interesting. I'm not saying, like, there was definitely thought put into that, and kudos to him for coming up with the theory. But, man, I really wish things didn't fall apart, though. So I thought this could have been the storyline of the year had all the pieces been involved.
I was originally under the assumption that the plan was for Kenny and the Bucks to win the titles and then go into a feud with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish.
We all know that's not happening now.
Yeah,
Kyle's out indefinitely. They've let Bobby's contract run out because Kyle is out indefinitely. And what's Adam Cole going to do now? He's already turned on all of his friends.
Yeah, I thought that was just crazy.
They've ran out of ideas.
They had the Undisputed Era turn on the Bucks, and then they disappeared forever.
Yeah,
that's it. It was very unfortunate timing of the whole thing. I hate it all. And that's why I said earlier, I don't want Adam Cole to be the Joker. I think he needs to disappear for a while until they have something with actual meat on the bone. And unfortunately, that sucks for the Trios titles because I was looking forward to the storyline after the tournament.
Yeah,
it was a very predictable tournament, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I'm anxious, though, to see, again, since things fell apart, and I touched on this earlier, I would like to see because we all know when plans fall apart, it doesn't seem like they have backup plans, and they try to stick to their guns, and it just kind of comes across as sloppy. I would like to actually see Hangman and Dark Order win this match, and then see where the story progresses from there. Just because of the fact, like I said, we don't get the Undisputed Era in this anymore. That kills the whole thing to me. And it's not because I'm an Adam Cole fanboy. It's like it literally just kills it because the story's gone.
But it gave the story some meaning.
Yeah. So do you think the possibility is still there that Adam Cole plays a part in this match?
Nah, I don't think.
You don't think you can show up with some Bullet Club members just to replace Bobby and Kyle?
Maybe, but I don't see it being likely.
Okay.
Like, I don't see it being likely. Adam Cole with the Bullet Club thing he was kicked out of Bullet Club on very unfriendly terms, and then they murdered him. I don't see him showing up with Bullet Club backup. Jay White doesn't really like Adam in kayfabe or in real life.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it either.
Anymore. Boo that man.
No, they don't. I don't know how well they get on these days, but they never used to get on. And in kayfabe, they don't like each other.
Well, in AEW, they were getting along together.
That's what I thought.
Until Adam Cole poked his head up and said, I want a title shot, and then look what happened.
Then it was still like a friendly competition type thing. It wasn't like, I hate you, Adam, I'm going to murder you.
No. They don't hate each other. They are professionally wary of one another.
Yeah, because I saw someone bring up the idea of having Jay White come in to fill in Bobby Fish's shoes. This is before the Kyle O'Reilly stuff came out. And I think that would have been horrible for Adam because the whole point of the storyline was to bring Adam Cole up to Kenny's level.
Yeah.
And if Jay White's involved, it doesn't do it. So
not in the slightest.
I saw another theory, the Good Brothers, Tyler, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm really mad to 10 being I want to shoot something. How mad would you be if the Good Brothers were involved with Adam Cole at this point?
I would be mad at it, and would it make sense? I'm not sure. But the hate on it, I'm not going to hate on that. But
Really?
yeah,
You like the Good Brothers? If you do, no,
no. I mean, they're not one of my favorite tag teams, with all due respect to them, but I don't think they're terrible. But do they need to be in this match? No. I see your point. That's like the Bullet Club idea. It's not a bad theory. I just don't get what it's going to add to the match. I think this is one of those, I hate to say it, it feels like a filler match. That's going to sound harsh, but it does.
Because of all the pieces that have fallen apart, it definitely.
I mean, yeah, and it's not a knock against anybody. It's just they can't help it. Injuries, and then people like Fish being gone. It really put a wrench on things.
The stupid thing is, the real tournament final for this trios tournament, if they wanted to make a decent impact, should have been United Empire versus House of Black. That should have been the main event. It should have been Will Ospreay's boys versus Malachi Black's boys, and Malachi Black's boys finally get the win and become trios champs. It would have solidified the House of Black. It would have done something with the trios division that was unpredictable, and it would have given Will Ospreay more TV time. Unfortunately, the Young Bucks' egos have got in the way. Kenny is Kenny, but Tony Khan is obsessed with Kenny Omega becoming Trios Tag Team Champion. He said for 8 months while Kenny was away, I'm not bringing the Trios belts till Kenny's ready. I'm not bringing the Trios belts till Kenny's ready, which made it even more obvious that they're winning the tournament.
But I will say, because I thought the same, but it also made sense that they're going to wait off if the Undisputed Era storyline was going to be involved with it. So I don't want to say it was to put the titles on Kenny. I think it was to hold off on that storyline. But unfortunately, because of injuries and everything, it just really came out horrible. The finale of this is just going to be bad because of that reason.
They had to find people. Yeah.
I would have actually preferred to see Aussie Open and Will be in the finals against Kenny and the Bucks. Because that would have made more sense to me instead of having it on the.
I wish they would have stayed. Actually, I wish they didn't have to leave for Japan just yet, because that would have been pretty cool. Aussie Open.
Negative 68 on the Good Brothers in AEW. So David's with me on this one, 100%. No hate though, Tyler. I get it. So with that said, who do we got winning? Who we got winning the match? Not who's going to be in it. We're all assuming. We all know Dark Order's in it. So who's winning it?
Kenny and the Bucks.
Yeah, the egos. Yeah.
Kenny and the
Bucks. Tyler.
Yeah. Okay. Kenny and the Bucks. I hate to just be, but I don't see him not winning it. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be because of Hangman Page, and they're all going to be heels by the end of the match.
Okay. This is my third chakra night. I'm going Dark Order. I think the story progressing afterwards is too interesting to ignore at this point, especially when all your other plans have just fallen apart. Poor Adam Cole, poor Jimmy Bebe. I'm just as sad as he is right now. Oh, this could have been so much cooler. So with that, why did I do that? It is time for the main event. The main event that we didn't even know was happening because of the complete mess over the past 2 weeks. But we were talking about this before we came on air. We all in agreement that the promo work that they did on Dynamite resold us on this match. We're not upset. I was on board with being mad if this was the main event prior to Dynamite. They sold me on it. Good job on Mox. Good job on Punk. Good job on all parties involved. Ace. Good job on Ace as well here. Fire promo he gave. This is a very tricky match for me. Do you see Moxley dropping the title here after he literally just squashed Punk a week ago and unified the titles, Nick?
Yes. Because Jon Moxley is also going to drop the GCW title the day before to Nick Gage in a champion versus career match.
So we have a GCW show this weekend.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it is Jon Moxley.
Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know. I was wanting to see
I believe it is Jon Moxley versus Nick Gage, career versus title. I'm pretty sure it's this weekend. Okay. I've got let me just check the date on my phone while I'm going about this.
Go ahead. I'll look it up for you.
Oh, thank you. But I believe that Moxley is going to drop both of his belts in one weekend. He has been building himself up as this unbelievable, stoppable monster of a wrestler throughout AEW, throughout all of the indies. Nobody's been able to beat Moxley. Well, at some point, the bubble has to burst. And I think that bubble bursts this weekend, and it starts the slow downfall of Jon Moxley to becoming the maniacal Mox that we once knew and loved, who was absolutely desperate and will do anything to climb his way back to the top, which will add a new level of violence. It will add a new gear to his game, and hopefully it'll make him a little bit more interesting than he has been in AEW for the past 4 months.
Boo! What she said. We all want to see it. Boo, boo, boo. Just joking, but yeah, boo. Tyler, I'll swing it over to you. Are you in agreement with Nick on this, or are you of the thought that it doesn't make any sense? And again, just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Does it make any sense for Moxley to drop the titles so soon after the just complete beatdown he put on Punk less than 2 weeks ago?
As much as I like CM Punk and his promos and his trainer coming out, and I know it's Chicago, I kind of get where Nick's head's at. I don't know. I think this is too soon, though. I think I'm coming at it more kind of hillish in a way that not Moxley, but Punk rather should take a loss because you could get more heat that way. And maybe I'm wrong in that, but that's just my viewpoint. I'm just going to come at it from a different angle. And I think, that Moxley, you keep it going. But go ahead, Nick. Yeah. Let
me ask you both this quickly. MJF, does he have any play in this match, yes or no?
I'll say this. If he is, I do think either way, but this is where I think if he is the Joker and he wins, I see MJF showing up in this main event and costing Mox the match because he wants to be the one. He wants to take the title from Punk because that's how personal things have gotten.
Yeah.
And I think revisiting that storyline is not a problem with me at all because it was absolutely wonderful. And I think there's still so much story to tell there.
Agreed.
But if he's not the Joker, I still see him play a part in this. Where though, I don't know. Because you can't do a heel Punk thing in Chicago. It'll never work. And I know a lot of people think that's where they're going. It will never. It'd be like trying to turn Brett a heel in Canada. It's never going to work.
Yeah, some things got to be logical. Yeah.
Not in a million years are you ever turning CM Punk heel in Chicago. He could say whatever he wanted to those fans, and they wouldn't care.
Like, you damn right I am.
Yeah, he even ripped that fan, which was great because he was heckling him, and the people still cheered him, and that was even against the fans. So that shows you how over he is.
Hold on. I'm still looking at The Art of War is the GCW show this weekend.
There we go.
Aussie Open and Will Ospreay are part of it, I think.
Yes.
Okay. I don't see the Mox match on here.
It's Aussie Open versus Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne.
Okay. As far as the John Moxley Nick Gage match, I didn't see it on there, but I didn't go that much into it. But I did think it was part of that show. But
I have it on here.
What I'll say about this match again, this is another match I don't know where they go with it. I like that because Mox has been doing some heel tendency things.
No, sorry. The Moxley Gage match is October 8th.
Okay, there we go. So I would be crazy to have him do 2 main events back to back at different promotions. Max plays into this match. Yeah, I think he does too. Depending on the Joker thing, I don't know how he does. I'm very intrigued though, because like I was saying, Mox has been doing some heel tendency stuff here. So having him do something to Punk again, I think would really push him over the edge as far as the heel stuff. I think it would make him cement him as a top heel, and Mox as just a badass dude who hurts people is the kind of heel I want to see. I think it works good. Just seeing CM Punk lose again after what we saw less than 2 weeks ago is just something I can't wrap my head around either. The redemption story was rushed here. If that is the case and CM Punk wins, it was rushed, and I hate it that it was rushed. But
yeah, I can see both sides.
Yeah, this is a match I'm completely on the fence with. And again, kudos to AEW for that, because I always say going to these pay-per-views, it's just too predictable for me. Yeah. And I know predictability doesn't kill everything, but when I can literally predict 90% of what's happening every single time, it gets old, and I'm just like, you're just selling me on good action. On this card, there's a few matches where I'm just completely I don't know what direction you go in, and this is a match. And it's the main event. It's your world title. It's the story we're all supposed to be invested in like this. So kudos to them for doing that. I know I was ragging on them 2 weeks ago because of that freaking Dynamite, but I'm back on board, baby. And I can't wait to see what they do here. It's going to be a fun match. I hope it doesn't go 57 minutes like Mox teased, though. Oh man, that would be horrible.
Yeah, it'd be too long. It needs to be unpredictable. Not every match, but you got to have some elements.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys think that way or not, but I always enjoyed that.
Good to see you, Maddie. Good to see you, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
That's right. Maddie is here, and he literally just woke up. Him and Kat got hammered. Man, y'all got work to do this weekend. You better shape
sober
up.
Sober your ass up and get in the studio.
Jimmy, AEW is too predictable. It usually is. Don't try. Don't try and do that crap, Zane.
Is there Batista? Is he showing up in AEW? I wonder.
I'm giving them credit here, Zane. I'm literally saying they've changed that, and I there's not predictability completely wrapped around this.
Yes, which is a good thing.
And hey, if Adam Cole shows up, isn't that predictable, Zane? Yes, it's completely predictable if he shows up. So the fact that I'm saying he's not going to show up, Zane, you better check yourself, boy.
Jimmy will get you, man.
Cosmox Punk heel turn comes on another show, not Chicago. Max face heel. I'm not against that at all. Not against it at all. Do you think there's a possibility? Because I thought this was going to happen at the last Punk Mox match. Is there any possibility Max just shows up, takes both of them out, and ruins the entire match?
That would be my ideal situation. Honestly, if they're going to end this match anyway, end it with MJF just ruining the entire thing.
And holding the title up over both of them.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah. That's when they go off air. Because, one, it would piss off the hardcore AEW fans so much I would find it very entertaining. But as far as storytelling goes, that is a good story beat. That is a way to make people go, oh, hang on. That was different.
Hey, Zane, and just so we're clear here, that was clearly me being a fanboy of WB and Adam Cole at the time. I knew what I was getting myself into, and I got a cool Adam Cole tattoo out of it, so I'm not even mad that I was wrong. You know this. Mm-hmm. Don't even try me on that. You know damn well. And I am. I'm taking your idea, except I'm using it on a different show, because this was Zane's idea for the Forbidden Door, and I loved it. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. So I'm giving you, Zane, I thought we was cool. I'm about to start treating you like Andy. Treat you like a little stepson here. Check yourself, boy. This was Zane's idea. I definitely stole from a little bit, except for I'm putting on a different show in a much better match. Because
I think it's good when you think, though, going back to that finish, I think that's good because you don't know. MJF coming out, if he wipes them both out, that sets up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, you're damn
of
right.
Where you can go. Yeah, directions. And that's a good thing.
And the one thing that does that I think benefits AEW the most is there's going to be a lot of talk after Clash of the Castle. There's stuff that's going to happen in Clash of the Castle, and I'm not putting that up, David. He don't get my attention. There's going to be something that happens at Clash of the Castle, and it's going to take over the internet, and there's going to be a lot of talk about it. For AEW to counteract that, they have to have something major to get the people talking. MJF pulling that stunt is going to get people talking because it also plays into the idea that he's completely against AEW and everybody there, and he hates everything, and he's there to destroy what they are trying to build, I think. And again, they're going to be talking about that all the way until Dynamite. And then we're going to be tuning into Dynamite to see what Max does next. So that's going to spike your ratings right there. I think it's a great thing. Zane, again, cap off to you. It was a decent idea. I just gave it in a better time because yours was a little
bit of spice.
Yours was okay. Mine, I finessed it and I made it better. So if anything, good teamwork on that one.
It's a way to utilize rumors, going to your point about MJF. Yeah. It's a way to really feed to that and fuel the speculation to where it comes to pass.
And with all the negative talk they've had focused on them over the past 2 weeks, this completely turns that around. It gives you positive feedback and just has the fans, wondering like, what is going to happen next? So I think that'd be the way to do it. But with that said, I'm going to put y'all on the spot. Nick, who do you got winning this match?
Punk.
Tyler?
I'm going Moxley just to be a little different.
All right, and I'm just going to go ahead, just in case my man Phil is watching the show. I don't want him thinking I'm a hater on him and anything. And I've lost faith in him. I'm going to see him Punk because that's what I'm going to do every single time here. But, man, if Max shows up, I'm going to be hyped. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Punk cheats multiple times. Mox kicks out once or twice, but he cheats again and wins. MJF returns Chicago. Bro, if you think the city of Chicago is cheering anybody over CM Punk, you're crazy.
Yeah,
they would definitely be excited to see MJF, They're not booing Punk and MJF, bro.
They ain't booing.
No.
Not in Chicago.
For like 3 years or something. If you think
he's the hero,
man. Seriously.
It's
like Brett in Canada.
Picking Mox, man. Get out of here with that.
She wanted to send me those JR biscuits. That's what it is.
She's supposed to be Team Punk, though.
I know.
We're going to have a little chat after this, Amanda Jones. But that's the show. We went over an hour, but can't help it. AEW gave us a monster card, which is another reason why I don't want 57 match. But with that said, if you have anything you want to plug, anything you want to push, Nick, it seems like you got something you want to say before we say goodbyes. Go ahead with it. What you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy what we do here at WrestleBuddy, if you like the content we're putting out this weekend, we have everything you could possibly need. On Saturday, we have a live watch along with myself, Simon, and a couple of others for Clash at the Castle. On Sunday, we have a live watch along for Worlds Collide with myself and Simon. And then also on Sunday night, we have a live, for the first time ever, dual commentary from Matty and the Captain on All Out. They are going to try and commentate the entire show for 3 hours from start to finish with no
33 hours. He corrected you.
Wow.
It should be absolutely amazing. And then, of course, on Monday, we'll be carrying on with Sorry It Took a Week to Get Back. We had some scheduling issues. It will be Buddy Wars Episode 3. All right. That's everything I needed to plug. If you like what we do here, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It costs nothing. And it's the only way the YouTube algorithm knows we really exist.
And hit that bell so you know when the notifications are popping up and you know when to watch us, because that's what you want to do. You want to watch WrestleBuddy. Tyler, take it away. What you got for us?
Yes, I want to plug the Rewind Wrestling Radio podcast, also the Uncensored Wrestling podcast. We recap the Attitude Era Raws back when with Danny and myself. We're doing wrestling, but all kinds of pop culture. So there's just so many podcasts. I know I'm going to leave somebody out, so forgive me, but I'm very thankful for it. And, of course, you guys, WrestleBuddy, my goodness, you guys have been such a great support for me and so many others. So what a great team. Yeah, appreciate you guys. It's been fun doing the predictions.
There you go.
We got to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay hydrated. Doesn't sound like you staying too hydrated over there, Maddie. You can't tell us. Stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated. So this part, I'm going to let you know, Raw recap, Dynamite recap. If you're not tuning in with me, you're not hanging out in the chat, having conversations with me, you're missing out. It's a good time. I love the people that join me every week. I want to love you as well. So join the chat. Join me. It's a good, fun time. I will rarely make it a bad time. One time in the entire existence of the recaps, it is a bad time, is because I was just so sad. Won't happen again, though.
Yeah.
So you tune in for the recaps. They're fun. The podcasts that we normally do, we got a good core of people. We've got so many people now that we can just interchange. You got Zane, you got Tyler, the newest addition, fantastic addition. We got Andy back. We got myself. We got Nick. We got Cy, who jumps in every once in a while. We got Quizmaster Maddie. A lot of personalities for you to enjoy, and we change them out. So you never get the same thing. It doesn't get stale. A lot of stuff on WrestleBuddy to tune into. And if you can't watch anything, for some reason, you didn't take this weekend off, and you can't watch anything, and you can't watch the watch along, WrestleBuddy.com will have a match-by-match updated of the show. So just tune in. Myself and the Invisible Hand have it covered for you. You can follow the show that way, and then watch it later when you have time. But that's only if you can't watch it. And regular scheduled hostilities. If you haven't watched my complete burial of them boys when they try to take out my man CM Punk, go check out the latest episode. It was a good fun time, though. We did Clash predictions as well. Good people. I'm not crapping on them. I'm just saying, you go after my man Punk, I'm gonna crush you, and that's exactly what happened. So check that out as well. That's the show. Thank you very much, Zane. You can kiss my butt. This is how it goes. We plugging everything because we love everybody.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
And just booted from that scenario, though. Watch yourself, Zane. So with that said, and to watch recaps, you know I do this all the time. I just ramble. That's just what I do.
That's what you do, Jim.
That's what I do.
We love it. Yeah.
But I do it well. So that's what it is. And with that, it's the time to say goodbye. We wave. Go CM Punk, new AEW World Champion this weekend. Thank you very much. Also, Drew Champion as well. I got to get that in there, and now I'm ending the broadcast. Peace.